Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Overbrook High School for the commencement ceremony of the class of 2020. At this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Sidney Pratt to the stage to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Our most acclaimed administrators, teachers, dear parents, beloved friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. As we celebrate the graduation of this class, I want you all to know that we appreciate the parts you've played in our journeys. Without your love and support over these last 4 years, we wouldn't be the young men and women that sit before you today. My name is Sidney Pratt, president of this school's senior class office, and I am extremely honored to speak on behalf of my fellow graduates and soon-to-be alumni of Overbrook High School. To my peers, we finally made it. This year has been a whirlwind of unexpected events, to say the least. Many of us envisioned a triumphant ending to our high school careers. We dreamed of participating in many milestone events we saw other classes experience. However, these moments never came. We were the class that was destined for a different ending. When we step back into the world post-COVID, our society will be reshaped. We will have to learn to navigate this new world, all while figuring out our own futures. While this may seem daunting, I would like to reflect on some of the lessons we've learned in these past 4 years and some that we've learned in the past 3 months in hopes that it will help us move forward as a class. Lesson number 1 comes from an 11th grade English project. Many of my peers will remember when Ms. Perez instructed us to wear a letter on our chest that represented our biggest weakness. While this letter was intended to help us empathize with the character we were reading about, it also taught us about accountability. By exposing our biggest weakness, we were forced to change and improve ourselves as young individuals. It showed us that despite our flaws, we had the ability to change and better ourselves. As we move forward, we will face many obstacles. We will fail time and time again, but it is important to remember that we all have the ability to change. Lesson number 2 comes from our 10th grade English teacher, Mr. Callahan. Mr. Callahan made it an imperative part of his curriculum to remind us that we were the future and that we had the power to impact change in our community. In the words of one of Mr. Callahan's favorite rap groups, Outkast, if you want to reach the nation, start in your corner. This reminds us that we have the ability to do things bigger than ourselves. As we grow into young adults, we must understand that we can be generational leaders. We can help our communities regrow and prosper once more. Lastly, this year has shown us that for true change to take place, we must act together. By staying in quarantine for the past 3 months, we managed to slow the spread of COVID-19. This proves that change is possible if we are all united. 2020 has also shown us that we have so much further to go as a nation. Police brutality and racial inequality have plagued our country for far too long. In order for change to come, we have to spread awareness about these issues. We have to choose love over hatred. For people outside of the Black community, educate yourselves. Understand that none of us should be satisfied with what is taking place. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, injustice everywhere is a threat to justice anywhere. As I stated before, real change can only come if we stand together. So, to the class of 2020, let's be the change. We are the first class of this decade, and we will be the ones responsible for how it ends. Always remember that. Without further ado, congratulations, guys. We did it. At this time, I would like to introduce the mayor of Pine Hill, Mr. Christopher Green.
Hello. It is a pleasure to be able to speak to the Overbrook class of 2020. You've had to make major adjustments in these last couple of months, but you have adapted, overcame adversity, and persevered to complete your high school education. You have learned a great deal about change these last couple of months. Change is something that is always happening in life, and we all must learn to adapt to change throughout our lives. New friends, new careers, new relationships, and new opportunities are in your future. You are leaving Overbrook in a time that is the most unsettling in over 50 years. But your education, family values, and experience is exactly what we need. We need your voice, ideas, suggestions, and commitment to help move our country forward. You are the future of the country, and I strongly believe in each one of you. I want to wish each of you all the best as you move forward from Overbrook. On behalf of all the residents of Pine Hill, I want to congratulate each one of you on your graduation from high school. Be proud of what you have accomplished and be determined to be the best you can be. Congratulations, Overbrook class of 2020.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Mayor of Berlin Township, Mrs. Phyllis Magazo.
Good afternoon, and I'm honored and privileged again to be able to speak to the graduates and their families on this monumentous occasion. Though we're in the auditorium, it's a beautiful day out. One of the very few days that I've been with anyone other than with my own family over the past 2 months. But this graduation seems different. Pulling into the school parking lot with only a few cars, now staring at empty seats, it's obviously something's wrong. Where are all the graduates that usually fill the seats, usually to my right? Why isn't it like all the other Overbrook graduations with the parents, the grandparents, the brothers, the sisters, sitting in the stands waiting to hear your name announced, but not this year? This has been a year of terrible losses. People have lost their lives, and families are grieving. Others have lost their jobs, their savings, their plans for the future. Many of you, I know, have suffered these things too. With all these losses, it might seem selfish to feel about losing your graduation ceremonies, but you shouldn't feel that way. A high school graduation is a big deal. It's important for many, and it's been like this for many decades. We have celebrated it in the same formal way with pomp and circumstance. Walking out of the school and proceeding to your seats and receiving your diplomas. We want this day to be special, just like all the other graduations in the past. But we haven't gotten to have that very special event that you've worked for and hard for the last 4 years. And why not? Because history has found you. An event that will change the way we live for a long time, maybe forever, is spreading across the world. And it has found you. As your long, strange spring break extended into week after week, the truth began to settle in. You would never be going back to school, not as a student anyway. The part of your life has ended, and you never got to say goodbye to it. But you, whom we celebrate today, you didn't give up. You kept going. And now in the strange situation without a fanfare, and just me and my 2-month-old Harley barely bad hair day. In fact, really, it's 2 months, 16 days. Speaking to empty seats and bleachers, and in your home, scattered away from all your friends you're expected to be with, and you always thought you'd be with on this important day, you have now become a high school graduate. And we are all grateful because we need you. We need you as teachers, doctors, the auto mechanics, artists, engineers, bankers, writers. But most of all, we need the free thinkers. Because now more than ever, we need people who could look at the world in a sensible way and make decisions based on facts and reason. I wish I could give you all the graduation you deserve. I wish I could give you and all your parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles a chance to hear your name announced and see you walk across the front of us and receive your diploma. I wish we could gather afterwards and take pictures and celebrate in all that you've accomplished. But maybe you've gained something more important than all of that. Maybe as younger people, you know now something more powerful, that you have been tested and you did not hesitate, you kept going. And although you've entered a very different world from the one you've expected, it's a world that needs you. But when you've found your vocation, please return to Berlin Township, return to Commencement or Pine Hill. We need you here. We need your skills, your talents, your dedication, your care, and your concern for your communities. No one knows these better than those of you that grew up here. Nothing in life is better than being needed, and I know, your parents know, your teachers know, that you really know what lies ahead. Congratulations to the class of 2020 and best wishes for your future success. We will be here to welcome you back. Stay safe. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
I, Kaylee Itzkovitz, am honored to introduce this year's valedictorian, Devin Teschner.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start this off by saying a few thank yous on behalf of the class of 2020. To our administrators, who have worked so hard to make the end of this year special. Even through these tough times, you've dedicated yourselves to creating opportunities to celebrate our class, and for that, we thank you. To the teachers, who have spent their days creating new lesson plans and finding new ways to make online learning just a little less miserable. You've given your students your time, your patience, your dedication, and without you, none of us would be here today. So for that, we thank you. To the families who have supported us, pushed us, encouraged us, and been there whenever we needed it, we thank you. I also wanted to quickly say a few more personal thank yous. To my parents, thank you for taking care of me and encouraging me when I needed it the most. You always give me the best advice and talk to me about the important things. You're the reason I do everything I do. To my full half and step siblings, I'm glad to have you all in my life, and I appreciate all of the times we've spent together. Thank you for annoying me and supporting me all at once. To my friends, you have always been the people I go to when I needed help. Whether it's school-related or personal, I trust you with my whole self, and I'm extremely thankful to have you all in my life. I am honored to be here in front of you all, in front of our administration, our staff, our friends, family, and peers. It is with great pride that I stand here as a representative of the amazing class of 2020. We've been through a lot, not only over the last few months, but over the last 13 years of our lives. We entered our school years in the shadow of 9/11 and are now leaving in the midst of a pandemic. While our class has missed out on plenty of opportunities, like our senior prom, our scavenger hunt and picnic, as well as spring sports and concerts, we've all made it through to the end. This school year hasn't ended in the way many of us had wished it would, but now is the time to look forward and focus on the future. While high school may have seemed like the end-all, be-all of our lives, what we often forget is that we still have so much time in front of us. So much time to reinvent ourselves and be the people we want to be. Regardless of whether we realize it or not, we change. Every day we learn something or see something or take part in something that changes who we are and why we do what we do. In the next few years, all of our lives will shift, and we need to learn to take these changes as they come. Don't be afraid of it, because if you are, then you are learning to fear the very thing our lives are based on: change. Accepting change is an important part of your life. It's what makes life exciting. While we may fear the consequences of change, understanding that it is inevitable, accepting it, and running with it is what makes change such a positive part of life. As the days, weeks, months, and years go by, be sure to welcome change and look forward to it as it allows us to grow. Change gives us new friends, new environments, and new opportunities that we should look forward to throughout our days. Alan Watts once said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." And I truly believe that allowing change to take part in our lives is what allows us to grow and advance as people. You never know what change has in store for you, and while it may be good or it may be bad, it is important to accept that either way, we can push through. Before I step away, I wanted to shift gears and bring light to something that I feel very strongly about. It didn't feel right, especially with the events of this year, to make a speech without mentioning the injustices based on race, sexuality, and culture that are still prevalent in today's America. I am proud to be a part of a class and a generation that has stood strong and overcome many obstacles, such as the coronavirus, but has also taken a stance in the war against discrimination. I feel that equality is a human right that should be granted to every person, regardless of the color of their skin. I also think that, together, we can all change the world to make it a more free and equal place. So to anyone who feels as though they are being pushed down, I hope that you find the strength to carry on and get up, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce this year's salutatorian, Ivana Sosing.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, faculty, and fellow students. I'm honored to be here speaking to all of you at the Overbrook class of 2020 graduation. Congrats everyone, we made it. I would like to begin with some words of appreciation. I would like to thank my parents and family for always supporting and encouraging me to do my best. Alongside my own family, I would like to thank the families of all the graduating seniors today. Thank you for supporting all of us and pushing us to get the grades, score the points, join the clubs, and hit the right notes. I would also like to thank my teachers, coaches, faculty, and administrators for giving me the gift of knowledge. Each and every teacher I've had not only taught me something academically, but also important life lessons that I will carry with me forever. I would also like to thank my friends for always being there by my side and for making my high school experience some of the most memorable years of my life. My uncle told me this quote by American author Zig Ziglar when I was in middle school. It is not your aptitude, but your attitude that determines your altitude. This is a motto that I have carried with me throughout my high school career and one I will continue to have as I go through life. In my 4 years at Overbrook, I have learned that you do not have to be a genius to be successful. What you need is the right attitude, work ethic, and drive. Your success is determined by one thing: how hard you are willing to work for it. Once I became a junior, I started taking AP classes, and the amount of work in these classes was way more than I was used to. Sometimes I became overwhelmed or frustrated when I was not able to get the material right away, or if I couldn't get all the work done in time. In situations like these, it was important to remember the quote that my uncle told me all those years ago. It did not matter if I wasn't the smartest. What I needed was to want it. If you want to succeed, you will do it. As we all move forward in life, I hope we all take this motto with us. The key to success is to have a positive attitude. Life is full of failures, but it is how we move forward from these failures that determine our success. Barriers and obstacles should not stop our progress. Instead, we must move forward and use them as stepping stones and learn from them. Life is short and we all need to be happy. Don't let anything or anyone be the reason why you can't find success. It may seem unfair that our senior year had to end like this, but we should not let this pandemic define us. We missed out on prom, senior picnic, and final spring seasons, but instead of focusing on the negative, let us all remember the good times we did have. Congratulations to all the seniors. As we part ways today, I hope we can all look back to remember the time we spent here together, and I wish us all good luck in our bright futures ahead. This may be the end of high school, but it is the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. We made history, and our story will be remembered. Our day is here, so let us all celebrate this journey together. Thank you, and God bless us all.
It gives me, Isaiah Robinson, great pleasure to introduce Overbrook High School's principal, Mr. Adam Lee.
Good evening, students, parents, guardians, family, and friends. It is my absolute honor to stand here before you this evening to certify the graduation for the class of 2020. I would like to begin by thanking our superintendent, Dr. Ken Kozier, and the Pine Hill Board of Education for their tireless efforts to provide an amazing education for the students in Pine Hill, Berlin Township, and Clementon. Thank you, teachers. Your courage and willingness to adjust to unforeseen circumstances is nothing short of inspiring. I would also like to thank the people in our graduates' lives who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that our seniors would get here to this day. Thank you, parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles for being the support system for each of your students. As parents, many times, it feels that all the sacrifices that have been made throughout a child's lifetime go unnoticed and pass without celebration. This is your moment just as much as it is theirs. Now more than ever, parents and guardians are working to maintain a normal life for our students when in reality, life is far from normal. Parents, you are doing an amazing job, and our students wouldn't and couldn't be here without you. To the class of 2020, we love you. You didn't ask to be playing the hand that you have been dealt. I often think about the days and weeks leading up to when school was closing. We were all looking forward to the end of your senior year. We were looking forward to your musical, your concerts, your games, your artwork, your trips, and quite honestly, just being able to see your huge smiles every day in the halls. This senior class was glowing, and we were smiling, knowing just how special you truly are. Unfortunately, we weren't able to celebrate those moments with you, but in our hearts, we know that you would have absolutely crushed every opportunity given. Our current circumstances don't define who you are, and most certainly won't define who you become. There are certain mantras that by now, most of you know that I live by. Work hard, be kind to others, and to always reflect on what you have done and how you can improve yourself. If you work harder than those around you, There will always be opportunities for you and for your family to be successful. If you are kind to each other and treat each other with respect, regardless of someone's background or the color of their skin, you will be successful. We all carry bias with us from years of experience and circumstance. Understanding your bias and understanding the lens through which you have experienced life will enable you to appreciate others, their stories, their struggles, and their fears. In Chapter 3 of To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus said, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it." Don't be afraid to listen to the stories of those around you. Never compare their story to your own, because we are all so very different. To the class of 2020, we miss your intellect, we miss your smiles. I just miss all of you so much. One day you will look back on this time and understand that this experience has made you stronger. I love you, seniors. Congratulations to the class of 2020. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of the Pine Hill School District, Dr. Ken Kosher.
Members of the Board of Education, Mayor Magazoo, Mayor Weaver, Mayor Green, members of council, faculty, parents, friends, and the graduates of 2020. On March 17th, I woke up and you were gone. At first, I thought it was so you could avoid my graduation speech. However, I could soon feel the loneliness as I walked the hallways of Overbrook High School. I thought for sure it was a dream. However, as the silence continued, it became clear that your smiles, laughter, intellectual, and sometimes funny conversations were gone. I soon realized what you left behind. You left a path for future generations to follow. This path was built on using confidence, desire, and passion, which was reflected in your commitment to continue your education and friendships online. It is now your time to use your experiences at Overbrook High School to change the world in a positive way. However, before you do, I would like to leave you with a story. A young man walked into a lecture hall on his first day of college. To his surprise, the room was empty except for a few students and the professor. As he watched the professor deliver his message with passion and intensity, he was confused. However, he approached the professor at the end of class and asked him why he put so much energy and passion into the lecture when there were only a few students. The professor said that there may only be a few students. However, each one of those students will tell my story, and the story will be heard by many. The world is an empty place right now. However, this is your chance to share your story as you begin to move beyond the restrictions of the pandemic. Your story will be unique and lead the way for many generations of students that pass through the doors of Overbrook High School. Congratulations, stay safe, and stay healthy.
At this time, I would like to introduce the President of the Pine Hill Board of Education, Mr. Les Gallagher.
On behalf of the Pine Hill Board of Education and myself, we want to say congratulations to Overbrook Class of 2020. Job well done. Sometimes in life, you get thrown a curveball, and this year, most certainly you did. But I have to say, Class of 2020, you pressed forward, and you not only hit that curveball, but you knocked it out of the park. You've missed a lot of opportunities this senior year that you had planned for at the beginning of the year, and unfortunately, they did not come about. But you need to thank your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, and most of all, your teachers for helping you to be guided through the remainder of this year as you took a different way of learning and completing your education. Remember, when life comes along, there's a lot of changes, and sometimes those changes are unpredicted. Sometimes you think that they hold you up, but you've succeeded. You're now ready for the future. Continue on, do the best you can. Hopefully soon you'll be able to meet with your friends that you have not had close relationships with this past year. But remember, when you see them and you can no longer social distance but get right back together, give them a hug and remember the times that you had together. cherish that time because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen with our future. But take a time to remember that all that you did have. As you proceed, once you leave these doors and go on to succeed at life, which I know you will, don't forget your teachers and the administration here at Overbrook. Come back and share with them your successes because they care a lot about you. They really care. So again, congratulations. Best of luck in your future. We know you'll succeed and do very well.
Dr. Kozier, members of the Board of Education, as principal, I certify that these students have met all the graduation requirements of the state of New Jersey and of the Pine Hill Board of Education. They are therefore ready to receive their diplomas, signifying successful completion of high school. I am pleased and proud to present to you at this time the Overbrook High School class of 2020. Sydney Pratt, Isaiah Robinson, Ayana Wright, Kaylee Itzkovitz, Devin Teschner, Ivana Sosing,
Tade Jade Adeniran, Emily Adolph, Colin Bailey, Kevin Bailey, Alexis Baker, Maria Balaya, Albert Barker, James Thomas Barnes, Feliciano Benitez, Rusha Kamar Balodia, Caitlin Blaylock, Richard James Bleeder, Ashley Marie Bodecker, Melissa Bonilla Barahana, Amanda Birch, Haley Berger, Tayshawn Burrell, Michael Bird, Celine Carabello, Jamie Carnes, Ignatius Casper, Joseph Cashtacame, Amanda Chappelle, Thomas Clark, Jonas Colan, Peyton Cole, Deanna Conquest, Kevin Correa Fontanez, Olivia Crawford, Yanni Crawford Turlington, Jasmine Cruz, Karina Cruz, Eldridge Cruzado, Morgan DeJoseph, Alexandre Demores, Anthony Denofa, Matthew Dilks, Jack Dillon, Kira Dillanaro, Jalen Doggett, Julian Durr, Vincent Eakins, Marquise Edmonds Parker, Shantae Ellis, Diamond Evans, Justin Fletcher Pizzo, Jacob Flores, Celestine Flowers, Marissa Forster, Markima Frisbee, Frank Funari, Diana Gaft, Francisco Gandaria Medina, Shamar Gant, Taylin Garvin, Giovanna Gaspari, Emma Goldberg, Naja Goolsby, Kevin Gribben, Cherie Griggs, Jonathan Hannon, Max Heaps, Sean Himes, Vincent Hines,
Hannah Humphreys, James Ingalls, Harold Ingram, Elijah James, Juliana Jordan, Tegan Johnson, Aaron Jones, Alexia Jones, Jamela Jones, Felipe Juarez, Zanai Kirkland, Julia Kerner, Mia Khan, Brian Landolt, Ethan Lapallo, Jordan Leonard, Annabella Lene, Isis Lindsay, Caitlin McAdams, Kayla McCann Dieterding, Kayla McDonald, Malik McKee, Saleya Mitchell, Dominique Mobley, Jacob Montalto, Jonathan Moore, Karen Morales, Elena Morris, Hassan Muhammad, Kevin Negron, Elijah Nieves, Elisa Nugent, Mandy Nordberg, Udoka Odemine, Marissa Ortiz, Alexa Owens, Edwin Padilla Mendez, Thomas Papsador, Tayshawn Parker, Yash Patel, William Perone, Jada Person, Shay Fender, Rebecca Pierce, Christian Pitts, David Pitts, Michaela Powell, Maximus Pyle, Haley Radlinger, Michelle Ramirez, Kiara Reddick, Madison Reed, Mason Reed, Anais Rentes, Sydney Riley, Xavier Riley, Jose Rivera, Riley Robeck, Paige Roberts, Laney Romano, Darabel Rosario Santiago, Annalise Rosario Correa, John Rossman, Carla Rubio,
Anaya Russell, Adam Michael Sager, Dylan Scully, Karmajit Singh, Samaya Slow, Austin Smith, Jalen Stallings, Tony Stratton, Thomas Sudis, Ridwanul Tafim, Aaron Tart, Elijah Tatum, Devon Thornton, Samuel Timmers, Matthew Tomko, Douglas Tompkins, Aviana Nicole Turlington, Jada Turner, Marcelino Ubeli, Eli Ulatowski, Max Underwood, Carlos Valdez Guzman, Thomas Van Meter, Vincent Vanzel, Jeffer Velasquez Sorto, Erica Watson, George Weiss, Jeremiah Wilbin, Darian Wurst, Jordan Yoder, Christian Young.
Overbrook High School, class of 2020. Please join me in moving your tassel from right to left, signifying our completion of high school.